All right, good afternoon, traders. Today it's the market review, market wrap up. It's September 3rd, 2025. My name is John Carignan. I am the lead instructor here at the BYOB Trading Room. Here, let's go take a look at some charts to see how I made 21K today. 21K, I was only supposed to make 6,440. That would be 1% of my account. Made a little over that, so I made 3%. So that was a nice day. Nice rip into the close. Let's go check some stuff out here. Oh, before we get into that, let's look at. All right, member e-learning, September 4th at noon. All right, Doug starts it off for an hour presentation. Then I start at 1, and then Rick comes in at 2 p.m. All right, so Thursday, September 4th. That's tomorrow. All right, at noon. All right, that's when it starts. All right, I'll be in the combo room. So if you're looking for me and you can't find me in the room, all right, that's where I'll be, in the members e-learning in the combo room. Another notice, all right, open house, September 8th at 8 o'clock. Going to start a new 25K, 27K account on September 8th. All right, so open house. Tell your friends, grab your neighbors, tell your kids, open house on the 8th. That would be Monday, all right, on September 8th at 8 a.m. in the morning, all right? All right, let's take these down and let's go look at the market for today. All right, so here's a 5-minute chart, okay? So price broke out of the low side of the box and came down to visit the all-time high anchored VWAP, okay? So we came all the way down here. Let's move this out of the way for right now. Came down here and visited. This was the overnight range right here, the top. That was the bottom, okay? So there's the overnight range, and you can see we never broke out of the overnight range too much. They got up here. They couldn't hold it, and they lost it. They got down here. They couldn't hold it, and they lost it. So price action came down to there. Traded some puts. I didn't trade any puts down to there. I traded some calls for price to come up here and fill the bearish gap from the day before. So mostly all calls, and then some puts on the rollover underneath VWAP down here for a little bit, and then I picked up some calls when I saw they got stuck. So here's some clues for today, okay? The bulls were not bullish enough to fill the bearish gap from yesterday, okay? If you understand what I just said, it's kind of complicated. And we got a bullish gap today, meaning we gapped up from where we left off yesterday. Bullish gap today. And the bears were not bearish enough to fill the bullish gap from today. All right, and here is a nice, I'll just call it a $4 rip right into the close right there. Starts off, $3 rip, 670, just call it 641 up to 644. So nice $3 rip into the close. Okay, so you can see the bulls. This was bullish because price went up and it was holding the higher ground. If we put the quad lines on there, okay, look at this. Okay, you can see price maintains for the most part in the upper third. All right, stayed in the upper third for the most part, stayed in the upper third. Never even visited the midpoint. Okay, so that's bullish. Whenever it stays in the upper third, that is a bullish environment up there. Okay, so here's the low, the overnight highs, and today's market stayed up there. Okay, notice price went straight across today. Okay, so started here and it just went straight across all the way over. Never kind of broke down. Never really broke a rubber band candle attached to the all-time high anchored VWAP, which is the purple line right through here. So we got a right here would be the the rubber band candle for the all-time high anchored VWAP, and you can see price never got much lower than there. Couldn't look at all the tails. Couldn't close below that candle there, and when they did close, you got bullish engulfing right away. So bulls were buying it up down here for price to come all the way back up. So markets are still bullish. All right. Made some money today. Gold calls. Okay, bought some gold calls. Bought them here, sold them here, and then bought the dip. Okay, on the gold calls. Should like to get some more right now. It is 6:07. I think I can get some more. I will buy 10 more right now if I can. No, not gonna let me. All right. All right. So here's gold calls. Bought them here, sold them up there, made $80. $30 on some IWM calls that just melted away on me down here. So they should recover tomorrow. I'm holding those to recover for some time tomorrow. $5 on some QQQ puts. I have some of those short. All right. I have a back spread on for those QQQ puts. You can see price action is coming back. All right. So as soon as when price moves up, the puts go down, and I get paid, or I reach profit area right there. Okay. So those are short. I got the puts that are long. These are the 313 puts. Bought some, sold some here, but never really made any money on those. Only $5. That's about it. So those are the placeholder for those back spread puts. So I got 624 of those short, 313 long. 645 calls, 2 days till expiration. Made $3K on those. Again, bought the dip, sold the rally. Bought the dip, sold the rally. Bought the dip, sold the rally. Right there. Bought the dip, sold the rally. Okay? That's all on those calls. 745 on some QQQ calls. Again, bought the dip and sold the rallies up here. Lost 1,000 on these. I was underwater. Gap down pretty far. Price action, so I had to double down and get out for less than cost. So I lost money on those. Made $2,600 on these. Probably should have held on to them, seeing since they're worth $176 now, and I closed them out for 47 cents. Okay, so but I bought them for 7 cents, sold them for 47 cents. So that's probably a 800% gain on those. Could have had much more, maybe even 1,000% up there. But anyways, 642 calls. I saw price had a path back to 642 right here in VWAP. Notice 642 here, VWAP. I thought price would probably hit the bullish support located at 640.40. And of course, this is 640.50, 640.40 right there. And you can see price pulls back to VWAP from there. And then some. All right, kept going. All right, looking like it's ready to go fill that gap, that bearish gap from yesterday. All right, so there's SPY. Made $2,600 on those. Made $3,500 on these 643s. Again, I was looking for the same thing to happen. Didn't happen soon enough at the point. Kind of lingered here too long, so I gave up on them. Only making $3,500 and some 644 calls. I was looking for the same thing to happen and a path back to the upper side of the channel. And we just kind of lingered in here at the 1 penny mark for way too long. I got uncomfortable holding them down here at 1 penny, so I just eliminated them. All right, because we just lingered down here too long. Well, you can see I probably would have made 800%, buying them for a penny and selling them for 8 cents, or 700% right there. So there it is, while price rips back up in the last minutes. All right, so that's how I made my 21K for today. All right, so let's go take a look around the horn and we'll take a look at the rest of the market. Let's move this out of the way, this out of the way, and let's look at SPY on the 10-minute. And you have a 10-minute uptrend into the close. Okay, that's bullish. 10-minute uptrend. My favorite trade is 10-minute uptrend inside a 2-hour uptrend, inside a daily uptrend, inside the weekly uptrend, inside the monthly uptrend. So we're going to go find out right now if we got a 2-hour uptrend. Okay, and we do. 2-hour uptrend right there. All right, so we have a 10-minute uptrend inside the 2-hour uptrend, inside the weekly uptrend, inside the monthly uptrend. That is my favorite trade right now. You're not going to see that 6 months from now. There'll be one of these that's not in an uptrend. Okay, but that's my favorite trade. Okay, on SPY, 10-minute uptrend over VWAP, inside the 2-hour uptrend, inside the daily, inside the weekly, inside the monthly, all of those uptrends. That way I get all of the higher time frames supporting my 10-minute uptrend to the upside. That's what I like. That's my favorite. All right, over VWAP. All right, so there's SPY. Okay, got the 2-hour uptrend on the daily chart. Let's see what we wind up with. Higher low, higher high, closing. I'm going to say inside a bullish trap. Let me see. We got, over a bullish trap, over a bearish trap, closing over a bearish trap. All right, because we had a bearish cross, closing over a bearish trap over the 17 EMA right there. Nice recovery for SPY. Let's put the quad lines on that. Let's see what we got. Okay, so we're heading back up to the upper third. That's the bullish area. That's from this drop right here. Still in an uptrend, SPY is. Okay, let's take this out of the way because we don't need it. All right, and you can see where price is at the top of quadrant 4. This is the quadrant lines. Okay, equal parts. 1, 2, 3, 4 is up here. Okay, still up here at the top. That's bullish up there at the top. Okay, and then we're still in an uptrend. We haven't made any lower lows. Okay, so we're still in an uptrend for SPY. Still bullish. Markets are still bullish. QQQ. All right, QQQ right here. We got higher low, higher high, closing inside a bearish trap, but under the 17 EMAs. Top of quadrant 4, that's bullish, and still in an uptrend. Okay, that's still bullish up there. Top of quadrant 4. You're welcome. All right, let's take a look at IWM. All right, IWM, higher low, higher high, closing inside the bullish trap. Okay, over the rising 17, up there in quadrant 4 again. That's bullish and hasn't broken any of these lows, so it's making higher highs still in an uptrend. IWM. Diamond Dow. Okay, Diamond Dow put in, I think that's a higher low and a higher high. High there is 453.70. High there is 453.86. Higher low, higher high, closing under bullish trap, but over the rising 17. Okay, top of quadrant 4, that's bullish, still in an uptrend. Diamond Dow. Take a look at our technicals. I'm going to say the breadth does not look that good. Here's T2122. Breadth, we lost a little bit breadth right there. Even with the big performance at the end of the day, look at this. It's still dipped down on the breadth, okay? Breadth is what puts the wind in the sails for that bullish rally up here around 650, okay? So, again, we're losing more breadth again, okay? So that's not a good sign. We're almost back to where we were, the low of the rally here is 1659, and we're getting down there again. All right, so the rally's losing its breath, and that would be the power and the momentum that goes into pushing price higher and higher. You can see we gap down on the breath, all right, and then we just straight line across. So see the platform, and then what do we get tomorrow? Maybe another gap down. Hopefully they can turn things around and start moving up. We'll see. But lately, these last 3 days, all right, the first of the month of September, looks like a whole lot of selling going on, okay, because we've lost a lot of breath here. See that? We're up here. We were looking good, and then we gap down underneath all of this right here. So not good on the breath. We'll see what happens here. Not a lot of participation. Okay, so this T21.01, T21.22. All right, so we came up to the buy zone. All right, we opened up in the buy zone, went airborne up to the buy zone, and the bears threw us out. And from there, we chomped around inside the buyer's chop zone and made an appearance or two inside of the seller's chop zone right here, where the bulls threw us out from down here. Closing the day in the buyer's chop zone. Not a bad place to be because it's over the 50-yard line. I prefer to be in the buy zone, but if we can gap up again into the buy zone, that would be nice. All right, we'll see what happens. That's T21.22. Take this off. And oh, I hate it when I move that. This is the sell zone down here. All right, let's take a look at T21.23. Okay, bullish gap up. Bears filled the gap. Still consolidating over prior consolidation. That's a bullish outlook. Okay, so let's get out the box. Okay, you can see price action. It's not going to work for me. I'll fix you. All right. It's coming up here just a second. All right, you see we. All right, we got consolidation right through here. And you can see we got bullish consolidation over prior consolidation. That's a bullish environment. All right. Price did not make any lower lows. Notice price, it made some red candle bars, okay, little valleys there, but they didn't make a lower low. All right. So price still in an uptrend. New rally high right there for T21.23. All right, still up over the 200 SMA. That's bullish. Okay, so price makes a new rally high. That's brought to you by inflation. Okay, 3-bar chart. Okay, on the 3-bar chart, it's the same product, so it's going to have the new all-time high as well. Okay, 3-bar chart. Okay, so it's same product. So it's up over the prior all-time high. So making new all-time highs. Again, still in an uptrend. Hasn't made any lower lows, so still in an uptrend. At the top of the quadrant lines, number 4, that's bullish, up over 200 SMA. All right, that's also bullish. All right, a lot of space between 200 and the price action. So nice performance on the 3-bar chart for T21.23. Let's look at FNGU. FNGU, what a turnaround for today. Again, you can see some consolidation over prior consolidation. So let's just drag this over. All right, so we can see price action consolidating up here over prior consolidation. That's bullish. Okay, and of course we're back up on top of flat 200 SMA. That's bullish. Price making a high and some higher highs, so that's bullish as well. So we are in an uptrend on FNGU 15-minute chart, okay, and over the 200, that's bullish. All right, see how we recovered from yesterday's double bottom dip down there. FNGU, that is bullish, and we're consolidating on top of this bear flag consolidation that we had from 2 days ago, back in Friday. Okay, so FNGU looking good for tomorrow, looking good for an attack tomorrow with that failure right here to make a lower low. All right, I would expect, I would hope that the bulls are inspired to make a higher high. All right, so maybe fill this bearish gap over here. Maybe take out that breakdown candle high right there. All right, we'll see what happens. I would expect him to come up here and visit this gap. Okay, that's going to be bullish for tomorrow. That's nice. FNGU looking good for tomorrow. Holding the higher ground over prior consolidation and over the bearish flag consolidation right through here. There's FNGU. All right, that's looking good. Let's take a look at, wanted something different. Let's try this. All right, let's take a look at silver and gold. Silver. Okay, silver puts in new 12-year high. Okay, that's top of quadrant 4. See that way up there? Top of quadrant 4, that's bullish and in an uptrend. Okay, making a new 12-year high. That's very bullish and in an uptrend. Okay, making higher highs right there. Gold doing the same thing, making higher highs. New all-time high for gold. Okay, I said they were winding up right here. Okay, over 300. Notice they were winding up, and for a breakout, here's a nice breakout for us. That's a nice rip. Price, new all-time high for gold. Doesn't get any better than that. Just drop the mic. It's enough said right there. Gold. Let's take a look at UNG. UNG got a, well, it's turning around. Got a higher low and a higher high, closing over a bullish trap over the 17. Still in quadrant 1, even as bullish as it is right there. Still stuck in quadrant 1. It's still bearish. All right. If they could climb up into out of the lower third, they'd be in the neutral territory. Still underneath this 18-month high anchored VWAP, so still bearish and still in a downtrend. All right, so even though they got a little bullish activity right there, still bearish. Got to take out that high right there in order to negate the downtrend. So there's UNG. Let's take a look at USO. And USO, again, one of those products, commodities goes up, gives it up, goes up, gives it up. Even when it goes down, it gives it up. It's just neutral, not ready yet. Again, still not ready on petroleum, okay? So price action, lower high, lower low, closing underneath, bearish trap, but over the flat 17 EMA right there. Not in the upper third, not in the lower third. Goes up, gives it up, goes down, gives it up. It's neutral right there, okay? And in an uptrend. Okay, so if they take out this low, they'll be in a downtrend. They took out this high yesterday, so they got themselves into an uptrend right there. Okay, that's it for me for today. All right, don't forget, if you're out there and you're watching this on Podcast Land, Digital Land, $7 gets you a 30-day subscription to the BYOB Trading Room with full member benefits. Don't be afraid. Come take us up on it. All right. I think it's a great value, but it's up to you. Hope to see you here. Thank you, everybody. Everybody have a wonderful evening. Thank you.